If you're a coaster enthusiast like me, then chances are you have a bucket list. There are so many amazing looking roller coasters around the world, and it's fun to have that hope of getting on them all someday. I keep a comprehensive coaster spreadsheet where I list my credits, rank the coasters I've ridden, list out all the major parks I haven't gotten to yet, and it's where I keep my bucket list. I did my best to narrow it down to 25 coasters that I want to get on the most, but there are so many great coasters that some are bound to be left off, so let me know if I missed your favorite coaster. I'll put a list of every park I've been to on the screen for a second for reference. These are my top 25 bucket list coasters around the world. Squeaking into the number 25 spot is Ravine Flyer 2 at Waldameer, a Gravity Group wooden coaster located in Pennsylvania in the United States. With Voyage being my current number one coaster, I'm naturally intrigued by another terrain coaster built by the same manufacturer. This ride literally goes over a bridge to cross the road and has part of its layout on the other side. That alone is a really cool design concept, and along with that, the airtime, pacing, and overall setting look fantastic. Number 24 is Let Coaster at Legendia, a Vekoma thrill coaster located in Poland. I don't know too much about this coaster, but what I have heard is that this ride is very much catered towards enthusiasts. It's supposedly a lot more intense than a lot of coasters, and from what I understand, the fact that it is that intense is why they haven't really built another one of these anywhere, since it might be a bit too much for the general public to enjoy. All that says to me, though, is that this coaster is perfect for people like me who love crazy rides. Number 23 is Hades 360 at Mount Olympus, yet another Gravity Group wooden coaster, located in Wisconsin in the United States. Despite the horror stories I've heard about this coaster's roughness, it has one of the greatest looking layouts of all time. Going into a tunnel under the parking lot and then rising into that beautiful looking corkscrew before going back through the tunnel just looks like an otherworldly experience. I've wanted to ride this for a while, and I hope I can get up to Wisconsin Dells soon. Number 22 is Guardians of the Galaxy Cosmic Rewind at Epcot, a custom Vekoma spinning coaster located in Florida in the United States. This is one of those coasters like Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure that's just a full package of theming and thrills. The ride just looks like a whole experience even aside from the coaster itself, and there's a reason that it cost $500 million to build, making it the most expensive coaster ever built. I don't know too much about the layout itself besides the backwards launch, and I think going into it blind will make it that much more fun. I have a trip planned to get to Epcot in December, so I'm very excited to ride this soon. Number 21 is the Smiler at Alton Towers, a Gerstlauer Infinity coaster located in the United Kingdom. This ride is on my list because it's the world record holder for most inversions on a roller coaster at an astonishing 14. That's it, that's literally the entire reason it's on here. And also that theme is a bit creepy. Number 20 is Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood, a Morgan hypercoaster located in Pennsylvania in the United States. I've heard so many great things about this coaster, and the layout looks spectacular in the POVs that I've watched. It's also just very unique, having been an old aero looper that was converted into a traditional hypercoaster. For those of you who don't know, this opened as Steel Phantom in 1991 and featured 4 inversions. After the 2000 season, Kennywood brought in manufacturer Morgan to give some new life to the coaster as it had gotten quite rough and unpleasant over the years. Morgan took out all of the inversions and smoothed out the track to turn Steel Phantom into a speed and airtime machine that would be renamed to Phantom's Revenge. It easily looks like a top 50 coaster, and I'm hoping to get up there sometime next year. Number 19 is Wildfire at Kolmården, an RMC topper track coaster located in Sweden. There's actually a much fewer number of RMCs on this list than I was expecting, and this is the first one to show up. This looks like an awesome terrain coaster and a great setting, being in a literal zoo as opposed to a standard amusement park. It's currently one of 4 topper track coasters built by RMC and the only one outside of the United States. I've ridden 2 of them, and one is in my top 10 while the other is outside my top 50, so there are a lot of things that could happen to Wildfire in my rankings when I get on. I've heard some mixed reviews about it, so I'm very interested to see for myself. Number 18 is Hakuge at Nagashima Spaland, an RMC iBox hybrid located in Japan. This is honestly the most beautiful looking RMC out there, with the blue track on that massive white structure. On top of that, the layout looks super fast paced and relentless. I've heard nothing but amazing reviews of this coaster, and it looks like it could be a contender for best RMC. Number 17 is Hyperia at Thorpe Park, a Mack Rides hypercoaster located in the United Kingdom. This coaster just has so many weird and unique looking elements that it's impossible for me not to be hyped about it. It may be a short ride, but there's absolutely no wasted space on it. Particularly, the element that's essentially an outer bank that turns into a barrel roll down drop is especially twisted looking, and I can't wait to experience it. Number 16 is Steel Dragon 2000 at Nagashima Spaland, a Morgan Giga coaster located in Japan. This is currently the longest coaster on the planet, at least until Falcon's Flight eventually opens. It's such a random one-of-a-kind coaster being built by Morgan, who aside from this has only really done some mild hypercoasters and the previously mentioned Phantom's Revenge. I'm very interested to see how this rides compared to B&M and Intamin Gigas. This is also a very interesting coaster from an engineering standpoint, with it boasting a very impressive structure that had to have a bunch of extra reinforcement. This is to help protect it against earthquakes, as a lot of Japan is geographically subjected to being an earthquake-prone area. Number 15 is Voltron at Europa Park, a Mach Striker coaster located in Germany. Voltron looks like a complete experience with excellent theming along with a great ride experience. The concept of a beyond vertical launch is such a weird and cool concept that I'm excited to experience. It looks like it has a great mix of inversions, airtime, and other unique elements like multiple launches and the turntable. This is just one of many great coasters I hope to ride in Germany someday. Number 14 is T-Express at Everland, an Intamin prefabricated wooden coaster located in South Korea. Of the 4 Intamin prefab coasters that exist, this is the longest and newest one, along with having debatably the best layout. It honestly looks like it could be like a top 5 coaster, even next to all the rides on this list. The setting looks pretty nice from the POVs as well, with the trees that surround a good bit of the ride. Even in the POV, the airtime looks very strong, and the way it weaves through its structure during the second half is a sight to behold. In general, the Intamin prefab looks like an amazing model, and I'm dying to experience one for the first time. Number 13 is Hyperion at Energylandia, an Intamin mega coaster located in Poland. From all of the footage I've seen of this coaster, it looks like it runs very fast while being glass smooth. The airtime looks phenomenal, and some of the elements look very snappy, almost like Maverick on a hypercoaster. I've heard some call this the European Skyrush, and as much as I love that coaster, Hyperion has the potential to be way better. The layout as a whole just looks incredible and is alone worth a visit to Energylandia. Number 12 is Formula Rossa at Ferrari World Abu Dhabi, an Intamin accelerator located in the United Arab Emirates. I mean, we all know why this is here. At least until Falcon's Flight opens, this is the fastest operating coaster on the planet at 149 miles an hour. The layout doesn't really look like much, but that launch alone is worth it. The park has some other great looking coasters like Flying Aces and Mission Ferrari, but this is absolutely the main draw of visiting this place for me. Coming in at number 11 is Ride to Happiness at Plopsaland Japan, a Mach Rides extreme spinner located in Belgium. This coaster looks like absolute insanity. The layout already looks awesome on its own, but when you add the fact that it spins, it just becomes a top ride on the planet. Even though I have yet to experience Time Traveler at Silver Dollar City, which was the first Mach extreme spinner ever built, I imagine this is a lot like that ride, but just on a lot of steroids. The ride contains 2 launches, and I'm a major lover of launch coasters, so that's just the icing on the cake along with everything else that Ride to Happiness has to offer. Number 10 is Ejinika at Fuji-Q Highland, an SNS 4th Dimension coaster located in Japan. It seems like most enthusiasts that ride this and Ride to Happiness say that they are the best coasters on the planet, and honestly, I wouldn't be shocked if I felt the same one day. I've ridden X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain, and that's currently a top 10 coaster for me, so I had zero doubt that a taller, faster, smoother, and somehow more insane version of that would make my top 5 or even higher. Number 9 is Stardust Racers at Universal's Epic Universe, a Mach Rides launch dueling coaster, located in Florida in the United States. This is the newest operating coaster I have on my list, and it looks like a riot. I've seen so many go back or forth on whether this or Velocicoaster is better, and considering that Velocicoaster is in my top 5, I have no doubt that this will also be an amazing experience. I always love a good dueling coaster, and this looks like potentially one of the best dueling coasters ever built. The launch, airtime, and celestial spin all look top tier and combined make up what looks like one of the best rides on the planet. I have plans to spend a day at Epic Universe later this year, so fingers crossed that I get to experience it. Number 8 is Fly at Phantasialand, a Vekoma flying coaster located in Germany. This coaster has so much going for it. The layout looks great, it's the first and only coaster of its kind at the time of this video, and it has some of the best theming I've ever seen throughout a coaster layout. The rockwork and the village that surrounds it look beautiful, and I can only imagine the amount of near-miss elements that are on this coaster as a result of that. Plus, the fact that it has a launch is insane since no other flying coaster has anything like that. Phantasialand in general just looks like a beautiful park, and I can't wait to get there someday. Number 7 is Batman Gotham City Escape at Parque Warner Madrid, an Intamin LSM launch coaster located in Spain. When talking about Stardust racers, I mentioned that Velocicoaster is in my top 5. Well, this looks very similar to Velocicoaster, and although it looks like a slightly toned down version, I imagine it's still a world-class experience. Plus, the theming around the ride and trains look amazing. I've heard nothing but good things about it, so my expectations are probably a bit too high for my own good on this one. Number 6 is Flying Dinosaur at Universal Studios Japan, a B&M flying coaster located in, Japan. I've ridden every operating flying coaster in North America, including all 5 B&Ms and Batwing at Six Flags America, and Flying Dinosaur makes each and every one of them look like child's play. I said in my last video that Batwing felt more dynamic than the B&M Flyers, since the ones in the US seem to have a lot of meandering moments, but this one absolutely does not do that and has some of the most unhinged looking moments that I've ever seen. They're so crazy that I don't even know what half of them are called. Flying Dinosaur looks absolutely demented, and I'm excited to ride it someday. Starting off our top 5 is going to be Zadra at Energylandia, an RMC iBox coaster located in Poland. Remember how I said Hyperion alone is worth a visit to Energylandia? Well, the fact that they have this monster RMC alongside it just cements this park as a destination for enthusiasts. This is the best paced RMC in existence, and it just looks to rip through its elements at ridiculous speed, with many of those elements looking amazing, the best of which is that massive zero-G stall. My current favorite element on a coaster is the zero-G stall in Airy Force 1, and I believe this one is even bigger, so saying this could be my favorite coaster element someday would not be shocking at all. Number 4 is Falcon's Flight at Six Flags Qiddiya, an Intamin Exocoaster located in Saudi Arabia. Okay, I might be cheating with this one a bit since it isn't even open yet, but I mean, it had to be on here. It's poised to shatter the height, speed, and length records and literally looks like something straight out of Planet Coaster. This ride will go over 150 miles an hour while being over 600 feet tall and nearly 14,000 feet long, which is just unheard of since we've never even seen a coaster top 500 feet before. The layout looks like it could be hit or miss, but the stats here are enough reason to ride it even if the rest of it ends up being subpar. Sadly, I'm very doubtful that I'll ever get to experience this one, but a man can dream. At number 3, we have El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure, an Intamin prefabricated wooden coaster located in New Jersey in the United States. If you saw my list at the beginning of the video, you might notice that I actually have been to Six Flags Great Adventure. While I did make my first trip there quite recently, El Toro was sadly closed for the day and I didn't get to ride it. Now, I know I said that T-Express looks to have the best layout, but I have El Toro this high because ever since I became an enthusiast, I've heard so many people rave about this coaster and have it hyped up in my head so much because of it. Plus, the fact that I've gotten to see how monstrous it looks in person just puts it even higher on my bucket list. I'm going back to Great Adventure in about a month, so I'm hoping and praying that I get the chance to ride this then. Alright, coming in at number 2, I have Wood Coaster at Night Valley, a GCI wooden coaster located in China. I'm sure putting this coaster here is a complete random shot out of left field, but seeing the POVs of this ride with the layout, setting, and pacing, it looks like a top tier experience. I'm a big lover of great wooden coasters, and this looks like one of the best wooden coasters ever built, aside from maybe the Voyage and one or two others depending on who you are. Wood Coaster is far longer than any GCI I've ridden, and the fact that it's built into and runs down a hillside makes me think that this has some of the highest potential of any coaster. I heard it described as GCI's magnum opus, and I can see why. Let's hope I can make it to China one day. And finally, the coaster at the top of my bucket list is Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens, Tampa, an RMC iBox hybrid located in Florida in the United States. As I'm making this video, I'll be going to ride this in less than 2 weeks, and I could not be more excited. There's a reason so many enthusiasts rank this as the best RMC in existence, even over rides like Steel Vengeance. It looks like it rips through its elements at a breakneck pace and has one of the best looking moments of all time with that death roll. It's essentially a barrel roll down drop similar to the ones seen on Storm Chaser and Twisted Timber's first drops. The difference is that this one is much taller and the train is already going very fast as it goes into it. I could go on and tell you all the reasons that this is my number one bucket list coaster, but it's mostly about experiencing that death roll if I'm being honest. I've wanted to experience it for years, ever since I saw a POV of it, and it genuinely looks like it might be the greatest singular roller coaster element ever devised. Well, that's my list. It was extremely tough to narrow it down to 25 since there are so many great coasters around the world, and I apologize if I left off anything. I'd love to know what coasters you're burning to ride. Leave a comment and let me know what they are. Make sure to subscribe for more content like this. I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.